Hey, did you know that the seller has the right to extend the closing up to 30 days on a real estate transaction? I'm gonna go over the three main causes that might cause a delay on a real estate transaction. This is Ilya Cobi from the Cobi Real Estate team at William Ravis. And in this video, I'm just gonna explain to you why the seller has the right to extend the closing and what you as a buyer should be aware of when you sign the purchase and sell agreement. So when you sign the purchase and sell agreement in Massachusetts, there's a paragraph that it says that the seller has the right to extend the closing up to 30 days for any possible title defects, so he can convey a clear title to the buyer. One of the main causes that I've seen that may cause a delay is a, a title defect, and what I want to explain by that. So let's say you are a seller, you own a properties for 20 years, and at the time you're selling the property, the attorney would do a title search on your property, and they'll tell you that, hey, when you did the refinance 5 years ago from Bank A, you had a mortgage with them, but that mortgage that you paid off hasn't been registered as a registry of deeds. So it shows still as a balance, so you owe money to Bank A. And this is also one of the main reasons that the attorneys would advise a buyer when they buy a property to get an insurance, owner's title insurance. So when the seller has an owner's title insurance, the process is very quick. They'll take care of this issue. But if the owners does not have a title insurance, sometimes they might takes more time, or it's going to be more costly for the seller to cure this title defect. And this is a big warning for the buyer, and especially when you buy the next property. Number two, it will be maybe a defect on the property itself. And the most common defect that I've seen on real estate closing, it's about the boundaries, boundaries of this property. Let's say you have a shed on the property, and when you build that shed, you went over the property line, and that shed now sits on the neighbor's property, maybe 10% of that. However, when the attorneys would do a title search and they'll do a plot plan on the property, that is going to show as a defect. And these things, they come the last minute, and you as a buyer, you cannot get a clear title from the seller. So the seller might need maybe a week, 10 days. It depends, how much of a work needed to cure that defect. And number three defect that I've seen when a seller is selling a property and may cause a delay on the closing, it's going to be one of the contingencies that the seller had on the purchase and sell agreement hasn't been met yet, or might be a delay in the transaction. The most common defect that I've seen in this particular case is when the seller is buying another property and he has in the purchase and sell agreement a clause which says that I'm selling this property, but I have to buy the next property. So the sale of my property is subject of buying my next property. So in this case, if that next property is not ready, then the seller has to delay the closing. So here's some warning for the buyer if you are a buyer in this real estate transaction. So if you have a rate lock, let's say you getting a mortgage and you lock the rate by the date of the closing and the seller would like to extend that closing and he has the right to extend it, then you might be ending paying a rate lock fees. So you have to be careful, or your attorney has to be very careful when they draft this purchase and sell agreement. And the number two, please do not give notice. If you are a buyer and you are renting, please do not give notice to your landlord if the transaction is not clear 100%. So these are the main causes. If you see value in this video, please share with someone that you know. And as always, thank you for watching our YouTube channel, and please share this channel with your friends. And make a comment below if you bought a property or if you sold a property. Did you have a similar experience? Thank you.